Good evening, Tsuu'tina. Darot adun telega. Hello, good evening, Julian Sylvester. Kudi do Thursday night non derla dia haralya hela yansonek adi halkola di lutadzi no hunt aho di sont elon san kola. Do telega Dene Yati podcast or ultanasi Willis John via Hushin in Telas Tuazi. Clearwater River Dene Nation Band. A Treaty 8 territory. It's the treaty number, the 0. Kola, I come to you live from the Treaty 4 territory. Masi chono nastanza dun tadige. Hello, Amelia Nescroach. What's up, D.D. Herman? Hello, Donovan. Hello, everybody. Good dog out in there with Azidia no barrel Leo and yeah, tonight I got a guest way in Alberta. So it's the Tsuu'tina Nation. It's the Brent Dodginghorse. Hulye. Could the Brent yeah, do's counselor he's on the Benation call the Calgary Hitman held these tonight. The OWHL hockey. Rodeo the yeah, the 2011 INFR World Champion steer wrestler at the Lyon and don't say another like rodeo life. Yeah, could the Horse Lake hockey team the hell's an I there held the Torlusig on Eltion the San could the bananas and Lethi den Bayatidarit Elukol doing it and Adela now their language revitalization boss a Harris Crow. Yeah. Another host Lela could do the here he is, Brent Dodginghorse. Hello, Brent. How you doing?
Good, Willis. How are you doing?
Good, Nezu. And yeah, it's gonna be. Been looking forward to chatting with you, and ever since I was on the podcast with Nathan and about mental health. So
yeah,
and I don't know much about your nation, and I've been researching and how they come from. They're Dene people, so hopefully you can educate us about that.
Yeah, just good to, thanks for reaching out. And Dene Yati, it's pretty cool to see your own little podcast, and it's a pretty professional setup so far. So, really just glad that you invited me. And yeah, I guess I think my family is trying to log on. So
okay. To like and follow on Facebook. But anyways, I'll get you to introduce yourself to the people. Maybe talk about just where you're from, who you are, that little thing, and we'll get to it a little bit.
Sure. So Brent Dodgenhorst from the Tsuu'tina Nation. I was born and raised in Tsuu'tina. We're about literally on the outskirts of Calgary. And outskirts of Calgary means like basically they're horseshoed right around our nation. We have 1,200 acres of land that was old D&D land, and we have Costco here. We're a land that's developed quite a bit. Chief and council have been heavily into gaming. We're also doing. We have a Grey Eagle casino here. We had about 2,600 nation members, 2,682. 70% of our nation is under 30. And we're going through a pretty tough time like every other nation, but we're trying our best to stay positive, stay safe, and going back to the elders' teachings to help us out. We have a golf course out here, and we're far enough away from the city, but yet we're so close. So you have the dynamics of being so close to the city, and some of the good things, but also some of the negative stuff that come from the city too. But this is where we grew up, and we're Dene Ta. We're part of the Dene Nation. Um, there's we got about 135 elders on our nation, and I think 26 speak fluently, and
Hmm.
it's our nation's trying to they have a nation revitalization plan to revitalize the nation, and it's yeah. So that's a little bit about myself. I went to school in the city of Calgary, in Fairview. I get bussed in every day, and there was a bunch of us that from the res that got bussed in, and it's something that we kind of become accustomed to. We got bussed into actually a French immersion school, but we're a bunch of natives,
Yeah.
and so we dealt with a lot of the racism and a lot of the issues, but we made a lot of good friends too. And I moved away when I was at a pretty young age, at 16, to play hockey, and that was pretty tough. But
Hmm. Where did you move to?
Vernon, BC. So,
Okay.
yeah, I kind of took the long, hard path to hockey. I kept on getting cut. Nobody wanted me. I
Yeah.
didn't give up though.
Were you
Yeah.
too small or something? Or
Well, being undrafted, I think being undrafted, first of all, it wasn't that I was too small. It's just I probably played hockey in an era that you had to be 6'6" or 6'5" just to get looked at.
yeah, yeah.
And if you weren't that big, scouts weren't going to look at you. So I just kept on grinding away and working on my skills. And I probably thought I was a lot bigger than I really was. I tried to play a power forward type of style, and I just grinded it out. Went to junior A, WHL and junior A camps just to learn and see where I was at. And
Hmm.
I had a pretty good group of family, and my dad and my uncles. Everybody kind of helped me out, but it's going undrafted into the WHL, undrafted everywhere you went. You you know you just find ways to get by and find ways to get better. But moved away when I was 16 to Vernon, and lived there for 3 years. Then got traded to Saskatchewan in the SJ. I didn't want to go to LeBret, and I chose to go to Omaha, Nebraska, and then that's where I just kind of, you know, my junior career. And then what was that?
Kind of bloomed from there in Nebraska. Kind of took off for you.
Yeah, well, I always told myself that I wanted to play in the Western Hockey League,
Hmm.
and the Dub has always been something I wanted to play in. And every kid that I grew up with that was at a high level either played in the Dub or had a chance. So
Yeah,
when you start playing at high levels, you know that you're right in the mix. You just need
yeah.
that right opportunity. And I got cut by Brandon Wheat Kings. I got cut from the Kamloops Blazers, but Calgary took a chance on me when I was in Omaha. They called me up and gave me a tryout. And
Hmm.
first game in Portland against the Winterhawks, I got in a fight with Brendan Moreau and fought him. Got a Gordie Howe Hattie, and goal went right off my ass cheek and in. So
it,
they signed me right after that.
it counts, eh? It
Yeah,
counts.
they don't ask how. They
Yeah.
ask how many. But
Uh,
yeah, after that it just kind of fell into place, and you know, all the hard work paid off. But I didn't make the league until I was 19 years old, and
yeah.
it took a little time, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you I guess the nation, you say it's on the outskirts. Is it like the reserve kind of feel, or is it like you're just a part of the city kind of thing?
Oh no,
No?
hell no. You're once you're on the res, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the accents, the way people talk, the res dogs running around. quads, side by sides. You just get all everything that every other res has: the town sites, the teepees, smokehouses, everything.
Yeah.
It's but things changed out here too with the casino and being a progressive reserve with a lot of trespassers that come from the city. Like
Yeah.
there's 1.2 million people that live around us,
Yeah.
and it's definitely it's changed, but we're trying to. You have to keep rooted to your culture and to who you are, and we're just very fortunate that we do have some speakers left, and we're trying to get that going. But hockey has been something that I still help out quite a bit, and I'm involved in every aspect, and I'm still on the ice quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I still keep active. Yeah.
People are asking. I just want to say, I will say it in my language. Dene dit eile. Dene ja der Tsuu'tina nation ganino halhol nila da. Hunt the san dene be a theater de ansne the 26 and alt henila alt the fluent darit. So kole dene yatila kole di dene leon de la so asalt aunza. And yeah, and no, I just said, people are asking, and you don't speak Dene, so obviously, the whole thing, colonialism happened and all
Yeah.
that stuff, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, just share a bit about that, like growing up and maybe not hearing the language as
Yeah.
much.
So, they had boarding schools out here. They had day schools out here. So we were big time affected through residential schools. And, Halukwa, the elders, they spoke the language fluently. My grandma,
Mm-hmm.
um, my grandpa, but he passed away. My grandma passed away, but it was ingrained in them not to speak it to their kids or their grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the residential school effects were really tough on our nation because only very few spoke it, but when our elders spoke it, it was so beautiful. And if I heard when I hear the elders speak it, I understand like a lot of the words that they're talking about, but
Yeah.
it's the pronunciation and it's certain things. But we're as me, like I'm healing right now and I'm going through my own journey, and that's what's helped save me on a lot of things is going back to the Tsuu'tina speaking elders and just learning the language, and where I take courses and speaking Tsuu'tina on the prayers, and out of I'm learning at the kindergarten level our language, but
Yeah.
it was so tough where people were like fighting about language on our nation because it was pronunciation, or you try speak it, and it was very tough because people would make fun of you. But now that's
Yeah.
changed through it's changed through COVID, and people
Mhm.
are nation members that speak it are encouraging it and helping people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I, like if the conversations that went on with the elders, I can understand it, but I
Yeah.
don't speak it fluent. No.
Do you kind of hear anything that you hear in your language when I speak?
Yeah, there's pretty similarities,
Yeah.
and
Maybe the
yeah,
sound or
yeah, the pronunciation and the tongue rolling, and
yeah.
like the greetings. I
Yeah.
think
How do you
those
say
are
hello or
well,
how are you or
uh, Danit Ada is hello, and if you're speaking to a bigger form, then it's Datanastara, like speaking to many people,
oh,
and
okay.
then the reply is good is Guja, and then if somebody speaks back to ask how you are, Ninika is like in you, And you know, so it's definitely helped me heal as a individual where I was going through a lot of issues health wise,
Yeah.
and it's just helped me, like, you know, saying the prayer in the morning and Tsuu'tina just really, uh, when you speak your language, like I said, Willis, I was so impressed that you're that you spoke your language, and you know, you're, I don't know your community, but it's obviously probably supports the language, and a lot of the elders probably speak it too, right?
Yeah, I grew up speaking Dene, and yeah, obviously everyone that's listening is they speak Dene and all that stuff. But until I started school, that's when the English was introduced, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I come from northern Saskatchewan, Laloche.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
I never been up that far yet.
No,
No.
no, I guess you said where La Brette you played hockey.
No, I got traded to LeBret, but no,
Get
I didn't play there. Yeah. I lived in I was shocked up in southern Saskatchewan. That's where I met my wife. Yeah.
where is that?
Kakawishtahoe in
Oh yeah,
just outside of Chat. Yeah. Yeah.
east. Yeah,
Set
yeah,
four. Yeah. There's Kakawishtahoe, Kawasis, Ochap. They're all in Sakame. They're set four. Yeah. So that's where my wife stalked me, snagged me, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I live in Moose Jaw now, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just down the road from me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice
Yeah,
place. Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Nezun Dilader Brent Dodginghorse doing Teliga Dene Yati podcast or Lakudi Brent Calgary and Nards in Sut in a nation. Dene Sulina Dalion de la Colette Alti Dene Tejo Yaltila Coleg Anino Halo Nila. Then Adorel Zare the Bona Zedlo the Nezulu and yeah, so more about this language program you guys got going on there. What are you guys doing? Like, is it just full on trying to read, come up with resources to preserve everything, and how is it working for you guys?
So first, I'll tell you about our structure.
Okay.
So we have our chief, and then we have 12 council members,
Mm,
and the chief will set out the structure. So there's two council members to each portfolio.
yeah.
So we have over 62 managers and programs on our nation,
Mm,
and then I think there's roughly over 550 employees on our nation, and then part-time, full-time, probably about 1,200 nation employees. So then there's a language program, and it's called a language culture program. So I'm not specifically on that program, but we
yeah.
have two council members that are overseeing it, and we actually have a young man. He's about 28 years old, and he was trained by our Hulukwa, our elders, to speak the language, Tsuu'tina, and
Mm-hmm.
he learned the language in about 4 years.
Mm-mm.
Uh, and he speaks fluent, almost fluent with the elders. So that's one of our success stories. But what they do is because of our decline in rate of our elders and our speakers at 26, at only 26 of them left, is they're working with our elders, and it's called the elder mente mentor program.
Mm-hmm.
So they're mentoring the elders with the kids and the potential speakers on the nation, and then they run programs for K K1 to K12, kindergarten to grade 12, and they're training the trainers, the younger kids, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
and then they're really just have short-term and long-term goals, like for the future, like wusa in the future,
Yeah.
and they're trying to really concentrate on making sure they're teaching them to write it, and but also learn how to write it properly. And right now it's been tough because of COVID, because it's a lot easier for the nation elders to come in and do it one-on-one. But now they've gone to virtual classes, and it's. I just finished talking to our language and cultural revitalization. I guess you can say he's our lead elder out here in the
Yeah.
project. But COVID's really brought people closer to their culture and their traditions, and
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot of people logged on to our courses, and it's pronouncing the dialect and properly. Like on our nation, there's 4 different dialects from what I was told from the elders,
Just
and
within.
yeah,
That's
on
just
our yeah
mm.
on our elder on from within our nation, like there's a common phrase out here. It's "Nani sone." I mean, I'll see you later. And then there's a different group of elders that say "Nani sone ena," and it's almost like there's different dialects. So, and
Mm.
that's where the elders they have a linguistic guy here that they hired from they partnershiped with the U of A, I believe it is,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to break it down because from what I was told from the elders, it's really tough to teach it. You almost have to have linguistic people come in to teach it, but the elders roll out the true language.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's pretty interesting because it's my goal is to become more fluent in the language. And
Yeah.
what I do right now is just put up words in my gym, or put up words in around my ranch, horses, iskle, or coyotes when I go hunting, decoye, or moose hunting, dinetje, and just trying to use it in my everyday vocab to learn it, and just
Yeah.
makes you feel connected.
To remember it too, right? It's when you see it all over, I mean, you know, it's good
Yeah,
to keep it, and especially if you're not hearing it. For me, I've lived away from home since 2006, and not all the time I got to speak it. But when I call home, my family, my mom, and when my dad was alive, I speak Dene.
yeah,
But sometimes I will tend to forget some words, or
yeah,
So yeah, that's good for you, man. Keep going with it. You'll get it for sure.
yeah. Thank you. Well, we're trying.
Yeah. How do you say thank you in Tsuu'tina?
Sieskas,
Siesgas.
sieskas. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
What's the so the Tsuu'tina nation used to be the Sarsi?
yeah. But the Sarsi was a name that was from the Blackfoot name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so
So
there
when
was
did it change?
well, it changed probably back in the probably late '90s to early 2000s,
Yeah.
and yeah, there was the elders that spoke Tsuu'tina were the ones that really brought that up, and
Mm,
there's I guess you can say. From what I was told, is there's a liquor store outside of Calgary that it was called Sarsi Liquor, and the elders didn't like that attached to our nation because it was
yeah.
almost like a stereotype.
Yeah.
And the Tsuu'tina speakers were always referred to our nation as Tsuu'tina, and the beaver, many people,
Mm,
and it was something that at that time I wasn't on council way back then. I was playing hockey, but they changed it, and it was something that it was just changed. But Sarsi was a different given name from the Blackfoots, and the elders didn't agree with that. Is the
mm,
stories that I was told through just being on council, and we all learn from our elders. Part of our chief and a lot of our other chiefs that served is we always bring our elders into our meetings, and they give us history lessons every day.
Yeah.
It's we're pretty lucky to have them around.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's I know Tsuu'tina Beaver people. He said I called I don't know if Victor Tsasazi. I said, you know anything about the Tsuu'tina? He said, yeah. He said Ta Ta in Dene is beaver, Ta, and
Yeah,
then you guys say it's Tsuu'tina, right? So there's
yeah.
little variation or change there, whatever you call it, and
Oh, isn't it amazing when the elders, our chief and council took a group of elders to Navajo, and it
yeah,
was almost like the elders here and elder Navajos were just like
the
having
same.
conversations. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
then he said, I don't know if you know this, but he was telling me that Tsuut'ina Nation came from the Northwest Territories and the Beaver people. Do you know that story? How they ended up there?
yeah. There's a separation story that it's a legend that
Mm-hmm.
comes from our elders, and well, obviously, way back in the day, Zonago, long ago,
Yeah.
migration, nomadic people, Indian people were migrating, and a nation was walking over a lake, and baby noticed a horn sticking out of the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and when they walked over to it, that horn, like a sea monster, came up and separated the lake, and
Mm-hmm.
half of the nation was on one side and half of the nation was on the other side, and that's how the separation story started, and we were down this way, and we've had nation revitalization conferences, and the Dene community um, is well above 250,000 people, and all stretched right across from Navajo land to Apache country, up through Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, and then all the way up to even BC. And they've even found some Dene speakers as far as Alaska and Russia. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool to hear the stories of our elders. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to one of my buddies there. He found somebody in Alaska, and there's some differences too, but yeah, Atlananta means how are you in Dene. Atlananta.
Mm, Adanada,
Atlananta.
Adanada.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like Danadada a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
Danada, yeah,
Atlananta.
Danada.
And I learned this as I started doing my show. The Saizi Dene in Manitoba, they say, because where I'm from, there's no word for hello.
Yeah.
And they say Watsia.
What's the
Yeah. Does that
uh,
sound like anything, you guys?
um yeah, well, most definitely. Yeah, it's yeah. You know, and when you're saying our elders, they don't say goodbye. Yeah, because I was wondering when I was a kid, and all the elders, they never said goodbye. Yeah,
And Losa, see you later.
yeah, nani sana, or
It's
nani
almost
sana. Yeah,
almost the same, yeah.
my grandma never said goodbye, and I was always wondering. And it's just always nani sana, because they believe when you leave, you'll
Yeah,
always see them in another spirit, or another spirit world. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Huh. That's pretty cool how, for the longest time I never ever knew. I think you guys had a Dene conference there last year or the year before.
yeah. Last year, well, before COVID hit, I think November or something. Yeah,
So yeah, we're February, so just over a
yeah,
year
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Did
Yeah.
you did you guys come?
No, I know. I'm pretty sure my auntie went. Some people from northern Alberta, Janvier, Alberta went,
Yeah,
and I didn't know anything about it. I was still working in Fort McMurray, and I saw that. It wasn't until then that I knew it's in a nation where Dene people. I always thought you guys were a part of the Blackfoot because right there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, we're in Treaty 7 territory. There's to our west is my west is that way, but
yeah,
there's the Stony and Dakota Sioux, the three tribes there.
yeah,
Yeah, Chief Dixon, Aaron Young, and Ernest Wesley's nation, and
yeah,
then Siksika is that way, and
yeah,
then Bears Paw, and then there's the other Kainai and Pagan, but we're in the middle. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you guys, any people around surrounded by the Sioux, the Blackfoot, so they kind of just as through time and history, they just live together and work together. Their language probably all evolved together too. Is that something you know about?
Well, I don't know. I wish I lived back in those days. I'd
Yeah,
tell you I'd be good good Indian back in those days. But my grandpa spoke Blackfoot, but he was Tsuu'tina. He
yeah,
spoke Cree. Like they learned all the languages because they visited each other all the time.
yeah,
And it's definitely, we have the Blood Nation is the biggest nation around here. It's 10,000 uh, First Nations just down the road, and Kainai, and
yeah.
I believe Siksika is at 7,500. We're at 2682. Stonies are just under 4,000. So there's a lot of uh, I guess I don't even know the word for it, but just there's a lot of good nations
Going?
around here.
Yeah, yeah. I got a friend from Picani,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
Brockett. Yeah,
yeah,
her
yeah.
main little mustache is her name. She,
Oh yeah.
you know her?
No, I know Otis Little Mustache. He's a cowboy.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
her dad is actually in the Blackfoot Confederacy there, Wells. I don't know his name, but
yeah,
the
yeah.
powwow group. Yeah. Do you,
Oh
do
yeah.
you, uh, do you get into powwows or anything?
No, I'm not. I kind of like I was telling you, our area is like cowboys. A lot of
Yeah, yeah,
we grew up ranching, but no, me personally, some of my bros take me to powwows or round dances, and you
yeah.
know it's but it's I love our traditions and our songs, and there's some pretty cool Tsuu'tina cowboy songs and
Mm,
traditional songs that I'm trying to learn too. And
yeah,
once in a while I stop into the grade 10, 11, 12s and just jump in and but I got to get that. I'm learning, and it's I used to be it almost people used to shame you when you tried, but now I'm past that stage. I'm just loving it and
yeah.
learning and keeping keeping on trying to learn.
Nezun, good stuff. Nezun, kudira dun tedige. Dene Yati podcast or honestly Willis John Beosho. It's in a nation as in Brent Dodginghorse. Ku Brent bananas huntleth Dene Tsuu'tina yati darit elakola ya eya desanda beyati alti la kola. Ne, Zoom, Brent. Yeah, once again, thanks for coming on here. I want to get into how did you get into like rodeo and stuff? Is it something that was like what do you call it? Just part of your culture? Is it part of your culture now,
Well,
or just kind of picked it up or ranching?
no, but I guess my grandpa back in the early 1900s
Yeah,
was into rodeo, and it's been
yeah,
family tradition. I grew up on a my grandpa farmed, his dad farmed, rode horses, broke horses, roped. They did everything. They're pretty ranchy.
mm-hmm.
My grandpa actually won the Calgary Stampede in steer and decorating. My uncle won the steer and decorating and steer riding. So we have a pretty rich history of cowboy culture out here.
Yeah,
Um, our nation used to own almost 1,000 head of cattle, and we got I'd say about close to 1,400 wild horses out here, and a
mm,
lot of, we grew up with it. I grew up with rodeo in my life, and I've always been either rodeo or in hockey, one or
Mm.
the other. I
Yeah.
think rodeo just made me tougher for hockey. That's all. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Um, I rode steers, and I tried bull riding, but got stepped on and knocked my face apart, and that was pretty dangerous. But I I guess I had a choice. The coaches made me decide I'm either going to do hockey or rodeo, and at a young age I had to decide. I wanted to play in the dub and do things, so I chose hockey. And then once at one point in time when I knew, maybe my NHL career wasn't going to happen, I automatically went back to rodeo.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was something that I fell in love with again. And I literally had to learn how to ride bareback again and do all the things to become a good horseman. And
Mm-hmm.
we're pretty fortunate. My dad is ranchy as they get. He's cowboy to the core, and
Yeah.
we always had horses. And um, to make a long story short, I ended up just working my ass off to make sure I excel in rodeo, and ended up winning, a couple world titles there. And just
Was that at the Calgary Stampede or?
no, in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the
Oh,
Indian National Finals. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Deadly.
yeah. So I was in 2011. I won that, but kind of a dark horse. The Americans are really good at what they do, and
Yeah.
I think there was only a couple other Canadians that done it, and I was one of them. So Bruce LaBelle from Stoney, Dakota, and Stan Wells from Kainai was the only other one, and then so well, actually, Wright Bruce had won it too. So four of us, yeah. Yeah.
Good for you. All from that area.
Yeah, all from this area. Yeah, it's called
Mhm.
cowboy country out here, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Cow
it's
Town.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all relay races around here.
Yeah. Cool, man. Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's was that your greatest achievement in rodeo, or is there
Um,
something else that you would consider to be a higher honor?
Probably. You know, I don't really. Yeah, that was good to win it, but I think just being trying to just model myself for my daughter, and raise a good family was the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a chance to compete in the pro level on hockey and rodeo,
Yeah.
and I've always been really driven to try be the best and chase my dreams and goals. I've always been goal driven, and I don't let race or I don't let anything get in my way. Once I have my mind set up, I try do it. And but I'm probably more proud of my daughter raising my baby. She's 14 years old, but she won the INFR in the barrel racing last year, and my
Nice.
wife won it too. So I think that's been the proudest moment for me, is having my wife and my daughter win it in the same year. Because as much as they do all the work, I like to think I help too, like on the mental side and
Yeah.
guiding their like just being a mentor to them or helping them out where I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So you work a bit in the mental health area on your nation or
No, I don't actually.
no?
I On the portfolio that I'm assigned, I'm on gaming and
Mm-hmm.
casino,
Yeah.
the bingo file,
Oh,
and Taza development, which is all our developments, and then I help with. We just lost a council member here just recently, and I'm helping with his portfolios. So, but on the
nice.
mental health side, it's all through my own journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with MS going on 2 years, and I probably had MS for 3 to 4 years, but everything was self-taught.
Mm,
Everything that I've learned is either through the elders, Palukwa, the elders, or through books, or just healing methods that help me heal with what I'm dealing with.
Mm. Cool, man. Yeah, I read a bit about MS. It's do with your nerves, right? Or do you go into like shock or something, or not able
Yeah,
to, like, I
yeah,
don't know how severe it is.
it's very complicated. It's MS is known as one of the most complicated diseases out there. There's no cure for it, but there's they they come up with big pharma to suppress the system. But um, no, I at first I dealt with a lot of central nervous system issues
Mm-hmm.
with the myelin sheath, my neck. But yeah, technically, what I have is what I have is 13 lesions in my brain,
Mm.
and then those transmit into different issues, whether it's physical, mental, pain. So I could list about 50 different things that I go through, but I I'm just finding ways to heal with it the natural way through food and diet,
Mm.
supplements, prayers, um, and mainly like a lot of going back to the old ways of the culture and drinking teas and just listening to what the elders how they dealt with a lot of issues in the past. So
Yeah.
that's it's I just kind of make I have my own approach on how I deal with it broken into four different areas.
Mm. Kind of like mental, physical, that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the mental side is because if you don't have a strong mind, then I just I prayed every day that I would pray for understanding, like through the Creator, Nata, and
Mm.
in our nation, some people go to church, some people go to sweats, some people go to. But I just said I'm going to take in everything that helps me heal. So I
Mm.
go to church, I go to sweats, I go to ceremonies, and I don't I don't condemn what other people are doing. You just have to do what makes you feel good, eh? I go
Mm-hmm.
to counseling, and you know I so you got to keep your mind healthy, and then the other one is it's what you put in your body. So I don't eat fast food. Uh, I don't eat bannock. I don't even eat bread. I just
No.
eat wild meat. Yeah, a lot of moose meat, elk meat. I built a smokehouse outside my house. I make dry meat. It is a healing journey that I'm going through, and I go back to the eating moose fat, elk meat. I believe all that good food is going to heal you. Dene Yati, the moose, is the one that they eat. They eat good foods, and those foods are going to be able to help you heal.
Yeah.
And um, I eat green vegetables. I really watch what I eat. I used to weigh 250 pounds, but
Mm.
now I I lost a lot of weight. I had to get all the inflammation out of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I take vitamins. I have a whole list of vitamins that I take according to a health MS health diet that's good for you. And then one of the other ones is just being connected to back to the lands and the culture. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to Tsuu'tina elders or learning about our culture, I have a list of elders that constantly talk to me about stories of the old days, and then I have teepee. I still have a teepee set up in my backyard that I go in, and it's just being connected to the land, hunting and doing stuff outside. I don't think we're meant to be on the computer all day. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're meant to be grounded, and we're meant to do stuff on the land. That's who we are. And I just if I keep those four things um, as part of my routine, then I'm healing, and I'm every day I'm getting better. And 2 years ago, I couldn't even walk. I was probably one of the most athletic guys around,
Yeah.
and it was hard because MS took me down to where I couldn't even walk, and I was stuck in bed for like 2 weeks, and my eye was going, and it was tough. So I think, the creator Nata has ways to send to you people in your direction that where you can heal. And I just found a way to heal, and that's what works for me. Is if I keep balanced and keep those four aspects part of my life, that I'm able to do what I'm doing. And I just appreciate life now, and you appreciate every single moment that you live.
Mm-hmm. Zoom, yeah, that's good stuff. I always I'm on my own personal journey too, and yeah, I have people in my life that within my circle that help me, teach me and guide me, to stay on that path. So good for you, man. That's it's good stuff to maintain, to live that positive life, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and then it becomes um, it's going back to your old ways, right? And going back to like your DNA. I can speak days about you know I I I just found ways. Like I even took like DNA hair tests to find what my body is adaptable to and what I'm allergic to, and
Mm.
I did all different types of stuff to try find a way to heal, because I did not want my body to shut down. I wanted to keep my body strong, and I want to be able to live a life that I want to live on my terms.
Yeah.
And I have to juggle all these health issues, and I'm not making excuses. I don't ever want to make an excuse, because I want to set the example for my daughter and my community that we can still, I don't call it a disability. I call
Yeah.
it the ability to live. And I still have a job. I'm still on uh I'm still on 8 Zoom meetings a day, right? So, and I still have stuff I have to do after work. So it's very important that I stick to this journey and this healing plan that's working for me.
Yeah. That's a lot of stuff to handle. Nezun kudu dun terege Dene Yati podcast Brent Dodginghorse dun ala dala ya Tsuu'tina nation as in yaze no halhul ni be nation da on din uhu yo ha kias and other and steer wrestler the helium by Nezun la bech ala ni na tu adoel new hen dredat da born there sit or it's easy MS multiple sclerosis. Is that
Yeah,
how you? Yeah. Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I want to. You played in the WHL. How long did you play in the WHL?
2 years. Yeah,
With
yeah,
Calgary, right?
yeah, with the Hitmen. So I went in there in 99 was my first year, and then I guess 2001, because year last 2 years. 2001 was my last year. Yeah.
How did what how did it feel for you to get the call up after your Gordie Howe hat trick there, and what was it like to
Well,
finally made it? You chased that since you're a young guy.
I guess you don't really think you made it until you don't ever think that way, because it's such a high level that there's always 10 to 20 guys behind you. And if
Yeah.
you take a night off, you're just out the door. So
Hmm.
I literally rode the pine for a couple months, 2 to 3 months, when I first made the team and signed a contract.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until about January, February into the first year that you start to get comfortable, and then they move you up and down the lines. And it was just working hard, working my tail off in practice, never making excuses, and right time, right place. But the guy just tapped me on the shoulder, the best player on the team, and said he wanted to play with me, and that's all it took.
Yeah.
So from there, it's just kind of took off. And hockey's probably taken me everywhere. in the world. So
Yeah.
I went to Mexico, played hockey there with Pacific Canadian team,
Hmm.
all-star team, and I played almost in every single state in the U.S., lived in Florida, and lived all over the U.S., so got to travel down there. So it's, I just want to encourage like any hockey listeners that are listening to, don't be afraid, chase your dreams. Um, if you got a talent or a skill, just put your mind to it, and reach out for mentorship, and don't be afraid to write your goals down, and just go after it, because at my age now, I'm in my early 40s, but I'm so glad that I have had an opportunity to travel the world, and um, hockey's taken me a lot of places. But I understand that I didn't make the show, but not everybody does. But I've accepted that.
Hmm.
It's just the way it is, and
Yeah.
um, I just feel like that. If anybody's out there listening to any youth, just don't be afraid to move off the res, or don't be afraid to reach out to anybody, especially in the world of podcasts and social media. You can have mentors all over the place and ask questions. Jordan Tutu, and there's so many good examples of people that have gone, and done good things with their career. Bridget Laquette, Carey Price. Um, Back when I played, there wasn't too many First Nations playing. There was only a handful before me, but Shane Peacock and maybe a few more, but that was it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Hmm. Cool, man. What did you deal with I know any racism in the game when you were
oh yeah,
in the big WHL show?
yeah. Well,
What was
I
that like
guess
for you?
in the WHL, or as minor hockey, I
There is
guess you can
everywhere.
say. Yeah. So we dealt with it from a young age,
Hmm.
because our nation is a kind of a hockey nation too. We
Yeah.
played in the city, so you deal with it, whether it was dirty Indian, go back to the res, you effing drunks. Um, every single racial slur in the book came at us. So it either made you tough or made you quit. And I
Hmm.
was the one that wanted to keep on going. And I had a support system that just said, just ignore it. They're trying to get under your skin. Where you beat them is on the score clock. That's how you beat them. But
Yeah.
you know, even in the Western League, I've dealt with it. Um, it's unfortunate that people have to use racial slurs, but it does happen, and but now in the pro leagues, I never did hear it. People were really professional about it. It was
Hmm.
good, but it was more in the, I guess you can say, Canada than anywhere else.
Really?
BC, Saskatchewan, oh yeah, and Alberta. It was really bad in some places when I think about it, but I'm not trying to like say uh it was always there 100% of the time, but
Yeah.
now at my age I'm more focused about teaching Canadians, or I guess we can Igahale, white people,
Yeah.
teaching them about our culture and teaching them about cultural diversity. Because
Yeah.
if you really think about hockey and what it brings to my community and everybody's community,
Yeah.
when everybody's playing hockey, everybody gets along, everybody gathers, everybody unites,
Yeah.
and it brings people together. And it shouldn't be about races or culture.
Hmm.
The people that are racist, the people that make comments, the white people, Igahale, they don't know, and it's up to us to teach them our culture. And I think I'm working with the WHL and the Western Hockey League, and I hope to get stance from, or grasp of, the NHL, where we can um, teach these organizations on who our people are. And you know I don't know, I found some statistics in Alberta. There's 10,000 immigrants coming to Alberta each month, and
Hmm.
those immigrants come from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it's if you look at Alberta and Edmonton and Calgary, the city is just a big melting pot of different types of individuals, languages, cultures, skin colors, and it's and everybody unites around hockey. So my
Yeah.
mission is to teach people about culture diversity and teach the hockey world on how we give them tools to talk to. I guess you can say BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color,
Hmm.
and just make a difference for the kids because the kids are different nowadays. We're our age, we're tough, we can handle it, but the
Yeah.
kids are different now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid too, we'd go to the city. We'd hear that stuff too, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
and yeah, it never leaves you. You're right, it either makes you stronger or you quit,
yeah.
and you let it affect you. Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys have like uh like a pretty good hockey nation around your guys' nation?
Good Indian hockey everywhere. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah, lots of. I guess there's a few like recreation teams in hockey. Um, Shoot, there must be about four or five actually that just in La Loche alone. Whenever there's a tournament going on,
Yeah.
four or five of them are from La Loche, and then there's about one, two, three, four, five communities on Highway 155. Like
Okay.
so along that highway, there's about close to 10 to a recreation tournament. You get about 10 teams that come. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and just like you mentioned too, right? Everybody it feels good. You don't have to play in the WHL, but when you're at home and there's a big crowd,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
watching in the final game, I mean, I've got I've won it. We were called the Rejects
Yeah.
in La Loche, and we've won it 10, 12 years or something like that in a
Oh,
row.
wow. That's awesome.
So yeah, so 10 since 2005 or 6. Yeah, so along that little stretch of highway we've done pretty good, and we done good in Enoch, but we I drank it away that morning. So yeah,
I know that's I've had the opportunity like to play at different levels, but Indian hockey is so much fun.
it
It's
is.
uh it's a lifestyle and it's there's the good, the bad and the ugly, but just take it and, you know got to play in Horse Lake. I played in Old Chap with the Old Chap Thunder and
Yeah.
it was I yeah, I've traveled all over, so it's been fun. It's been good to me.
What year did you play with Horse Lake? So you'll know
Um
Cody Peterson and all of them. Cody
yeah,
Peterson,
yeah.
Sean Breaker.
Peterson come in after me. Breaker come in after me. The year we went to the Cup, I guess you can say, in Lloydminster, they had Sasha Lakovic, Greg Lakovic, Theo Fleury,
Oh yeah,
um, Gino Ojic. So it's the Parsons. They probably had the toughest team that money could put together. And but yeah, Peterson and all those guys kind of come in a year after.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah, but it was good hockey, and it's most definitely one of the most toughest team I've ever played on, and got to play with Theo and Gino, so that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. What did you? That was the Allen Cup, right? That was in Lloydminster.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
We
win that
lost in
year?
the no, we lost in the semis. Yeah, we
Oh,
had the team that should have won it, bar none, the best team there, but we ran into a Thunder Bay team that beat us. One
yeah,
of their D-men just ripped us apart. But they called 15 penalties against us, so we played half that game shorthanded.
yeah,
15 penalties to two. So there's no way you can win a game when you get 15 penalties. It
yeah.
was pretty bad deal. And then Theo wrote in his book you know, it is true that
He
we did.
mentioned you in there.
Yeah, yeah. He mentioned racism, but it happened in there, and you know, it's we couldn't even look at the ref and we get a penalty. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty bad. But that's part of my crusade is to change the way people think and just give them learning educational videos because you know it's people don't like to talk about racism because it divides people. But I just think
Yeah.
if we did it in a good way and we did it uh, in a really good way that people would understand. And you're not going to change a lot of racist people's minds, but the
Mhm.
youth are more receptive to change.
Yeah. That's good. That's yeah, I don't I've dealt with my own crap. Even the other day I heard one of my friends there, she works in a hotel and yeah, slowly we got to do our part to we can't keep pointing the finger and educating people. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. Ne zoom kudu telega Dene Yati podcast gani urtane Brent Dodginghorse adela sit in a nation azina no how I yanze ati hawk you a rodeo the another counselor the leon is zuna be yatied Dene asushi ila la cola di tori dene da leon yeah. Nezu, good stuff, Brent. We've reached the hour of the show. So, I just want to say, thank you for sharing your story and sharing a bit about the Tsuu'tina Nation because I don't know personally much about them. Hopefully, send someone my way to get on the show and we can learn from each other. So, and,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, 50 rounds of golf I heard, so you'll have to come down to our golf course and we'll
Yeah.
get to
What?
know each other once COVID's over. And yeah, you're welcome out here anytime, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Willis.
Yeah. What is your golf course called?
Redwood Meadows.
Oh, you guys own that?
Yeah, yeah,
Man, I always hear good stuff about that. I've seen it
yeah.
over what is it called? Bragg Creek?
Yeah, that's right on the nation. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's the west part of our nation in Bragg Creek, but Redwood Meadows is on our nation, and
yeah,
yeah, it's pretty cool. But they hosted a PGA golf tournament there, and I
yeah,
think the lowest I ever shot was a 74 back in the day. But now I'm back up in the 90s again. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They have an indigenous tournament there every year in August. Uh,
yeah,
um,
celebrations. Yeah.
yeah, I always try to get into it, but I think you needed to be First Nations, and I've only had my treaty card for not that long, so hopefully this year I can come down and compete in it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for
I don't
sure.
I don't know who puts it up, but
Yeah,
but
our nation puts it up. So
yeah.
let us know. We'll get you in.
Yeah, Nezu anyways. Masi Cho is thank you. How do you say Masi Cho? Thank you and
Sieskas,
Siesgas.
Sieskas. Yeah,
Masi Cho is thank you
Masichu.
very much
Okay.
in Dene. Yeah, so I want to thank you again, and I will take you off the show, and I'll come meet you in backstage or in a minute. Okay?
All right. See you later. Take
Uh,
care, Will. Yeah.
yeah.
See you, everybody.
Nezu Kudlanu Thanei. Yeah, Brent Dodgenhorst, the Tsuu'tina Nation as in Yas no Hagaitila, but Benenas and on Dua de la now Casino the Dubbits, bingo the Ahenu. Ho ho ho. Nezu. Good stuff. Dene Yati la cola. The Dene Helia, so cool stuff. Nezu. Ayati, next weekday, I got another one. I video Josh Holden, Tuesday night. Oh my God, look at this guy again. I'm gonna have to. Josh Holden, Tuesday night. It's gonna be a little earlier because we're in Montreal and others, so maybe I think 6 o'clock. Class something. Color, Zoom was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, as I see her race, but and but her dela. Side Daniel. Yes. Color. Massi chona harusiu salot in a dogouts in see. Dene Yati podcast live on Facebook and YouTube. Could Spotify any previous episodes? I need it. You can catch me on Spotify. Download, like, subscribe. I don't know that all Kola. You can do it. Kola. Dene Yati podcast. Si Willis Janvier Hushio. Nintelas tours in the Clearwater River Dene Nation Band Treaty 8 says in treaty number the Nagawas Alilu. Hell, I come to you live from the Treaty 4 territory. Masi Cho Selatina and good night.